up, guys? Hunter here. I am hanging out with Tyler. We're talking Black Gold, a MMO that I am learning about today on the floor. This is exciting for me. Let's set up the world. I know a little bit, there's a steampunk vibe to this, which I like a lot. So sort of let's just start, I guess, setting up the world for people that are interested in trying this out.
The basic overall story is, resource war between a natural society and a machine society. You think Fern Gully, but replace the Amazonian lumberjacks with steampunk. So you've got a fantasy side that's very much religious on this, and the steampunks who want to just use the resource of their machines, their industry, anything from pets to vehicles as well. In between that, you've got the three races. Steam has a dwarf race, a human race, and in steampunk, you have to have a vampire race. The fantasy side, you've got these Kosh cat-like creatures. You have a shape-shifting brute barbarian race. Then you have another human race for the fantasy. In between that, we got a bevy of different classes which are specific to those factions. There's a tech adept, which is like a hunter who makes large lions or little mini things out of gears, makes the machinery. You have a gunslinger and then on the fantasy side, you have an exorcist or a demon hunter who summons demons to help him out, or a blade master or elemental mages because they drive so much from the natural industry.
Let's talk about the PvP. You said open world PvP, and I assume what I'm seeing here is some sort of arena type battleground type thing like that?
We set up an individual E3 battle arena to show off the mechs, show off some of the PvP fighting scenarios. Yeah. But open wide, you have guilds, you have factions fighting over little resource veins of this black gold mineral that everybody wants no matter what. And then guilds would fight over their factions' resource wells so they can build garages or farms to store their mounts for safety. Factories to produce items for their guilds and then sell to their friends, or create a neutral item to sell in the black market across faction to try to get some extra money out of.
You mentioned a lot of different class types. Are we looking at sort of traditional roles as far as tank and healing and DPS, or is there some sort of hybriding and mixing up of those tropes?
There's a lot of hybriding. When you pick the Inquisitor class for the steampunks, when you get to a certain level, you go to subclasses, and that varies into an Inquisitor, which is a very heavy double-handed sword, or a gunslinger, which is the exact opposite, but it still works under that passive motif of what the Inquisitor is. And even the gunslinger's skills can range from being short up close with a blunderbuss, or ranged and kind of sniping or higher crit, or a tankier double-handed sword guy with the Inquisitor Blade Master, as opposed to a quick and fast, run around. And then the mages are the same way. You have crowd controlling and supporting, or you have just a full-on, just ruin somebody's face mage.
As far as grouping up goes, are there ideal group sizes in terms of the different content? How does that sort of work, or is it just sort of grab a friend and jump into the fray?
You can grab a friend, jump in, quest along with them. We have dynamic events that pop up randomly you can quest with. Then PvP, aside from the open world, which can range from 10 to 20 to 30 size, with aerial mechs fighting humans or fighting ground mechs, ground troops. You also have battlefield scenarios where it's just team on team, 5v5, 10 versus 10, a VIP where you have to protect a member, to rescue a member in a hostage scenario, a capture the flag, death mode, and then we have a MOBA style where your character goes into like a laning phase. You buy a bunch of upgrades, powers, buy a mech, and when that MOBA game individually ends, you reset back to what your character was beforehand. You get some honor points, an achievement, a title just to wear around the world.
Let's talk about the size of the world itself. Sort of how many areas are there to explore? Are we limited early by content levels, typical progression, things like that?
It's open PvP. If anybody's familiar with Age of Wushu that came out, it's the same engine, so we have a world that is just so massive. He was in this little bitty minor area. This is all fantasy on the right side, all Steam on the left, and then within that, if he clicks on the little gear, it just shows you the distribution that was all, there's a distribution of the different resources within that. It's one little speck of where you are into a giant, probably mile-long region of what it would be like. Then there are some underground caverns, and there's rumors of our dev diaries showing off some aquatic battling as well within those.
So what state is the game in currently? Are you guys working towards a beta? What's the current state of affairs?
They just released a closed beta in China last month for like a 2-week period. A few of the classes aren't revealed right now or not playable right now. We're planning on a beta coming around August, September, with a Q4 full launch expected. And there was a lot more details, a lot more of the crafting system, explaining how stuff like customizing your weapon into like 9 different slots for a gun. A lot more open expectations to come within the next few months.
I think for people, the build up to an MMO being released is sort of logging that time online and sort of reading up in the game. Where's the best place for people to go to sort of get a feel for all the stuff they can expect?
You can go to blackgoldol.com. That's like online, not Black Gold Oil. Don't put the I in there. So blackgoldol.com.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Thank you very much for taking the time to show us.
Have fun.
Hey there, got some free time for E3? Good! Starting on June 11th to the 13th, tune in for our 24-hour E3 coverage featuring the latest gameplay, hardware, and trailers from the biggest gaming convention of the year. Catch it all on your phone, tablet, computer, or other rectangular viewing device right here at Machinima or on your 360 with our patented Machinima app.